Hey everyone, how's it going? For today's video, let's take an up-close and personal, in-depth look at the recently refreshed 2015 Dodge Charger SRT. This is going to be a detailed, in-depth review of the SRT. We'll start it up, show the engine, get an exhaust clip, and cover the performance data, take it on a thorough road test, and show you many of the unique aspects of both the interior as well as exterior. And of course, with all my latest road tests, the timestamps can be found in the description box below, so if there's a particular area that you have some key interest in seeing, all you have to do is just open up that description box, click on the time, and it'll take you directly to that part of the video. Enjoy, guys! And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and start her up, let her run. As you can see, the SRT does come standard with remote start. The Charger comes standard with a remote passive entry system, so you can lock and unlock the vehicle by just keeping the key fob in your pocket and utilizing the buttons and touch sensors on both the driver and passenger side door handle. To lock, just tap the button on top. Then after waiting a second, grab the handle, there's a touch sensor located behind, and it automatically unlocks the vehicle. In addition to the high customizability with all of the different vehicle settings, you can actually turn off the passive entry system if you want to restrict it to the remote fob. You can also program it to where one press of the fob or just touching the driver's door handle will unlock all 4 doors or just the driver's door, totally your preference. This exterior color is known as Phantom Black Metallic, with the interior featuring a two-tone combination of premium black Napa leather and ruby red Alcantara suede, all specifically designed for the SRT. In order to start, all you have to do, just put your foot on the brake and hit the red button in the dash to go. The other thing about the SRT that I really like is the active exhaust system. I mean, the regular RT with the 5.7 has a pretty decent sounding exhaust. It's not too loud, but this one comes straight from the factory with such a raw sound. It completely opens up under harder acceleration. I mean, listen to this. Golly, that's addicting. Unlike the previous SRT, 2015 brings a new electrically assisted rack and pinion steering system. Only the Hellcat retains a traditional engine-driven hydraulic pump, while other Chargers, including the RT and V6 models, have had electric assistance since 2011. EPS, or electric power steering, has a number of benefits as it reduces load on the powertrain and helps improve economy and efficiency. During my week spent with the SRT, I really couldn't tell a difference between the new steering and the previous hydraulic setup, which is definitely a good thing. It's been said before that implementing EPS can dull a car's connected feel, but with the SRT this just doesn't seem to be the case, at least to me. It's weighted nicely and can be stiffened up further or relaxed for comfort within the car's drive modes. SRT did a great job retaining a noticeable connected feel. If anything, it hasn't lost any of its character in the transition. All Chargers benefit from new 3-spoke multifunction steering wheels, with the SRT gaining a unique performance-oriented wheel with a flat-bottom design, upper and lower grip bolsters, soft leather, and perforations across the sides. It's decorated by satin silver spokes and chrome trim across the airbag cover, not to mention beautiful interwoven contrast white stitching. All Charger models for 2015 now feature some form of Chrysler Group's TorqueFlite 8-speed automatic transmission. Not only does it promise improved fuel economy over the antiquated 5-speed auto, but it creates a smoother and far more dynamic Charger than before. The SRT 392 carries the more robust 8 HP 70 gearbox, also shared with the RT and RT Scat pack. Along with the new transmission comes a new non-gated housing and a retro-inspired T-bar shifter that incorporates a bit of padding on top. Also standard is an electronic limited slip differential with auto-stick manual shifting. To shift the transmission manually, you can either use the selector below or tug on the aluminum steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. It's capable of delivering impressively quick 160 millisecond shifts with automatic rev matching. Those shift times are but a mere 10 milliseconds greater than the dual clutch unit found on the Nissan GT-R. It's one of the quickest shifting conventional automatics I've ever driven. The drive modes, all new for 2015, allow complete customization of the SRT's driving dynamics. The menu can be activated by simply pressing the SRT button adjacent to the hazards and launch control in the instrument panel, selecting drive modes from the SRT and apps menu or from the performance pages menu. Most people are familiar with cylinder deactivation, allowing V8 equipped Chargers to run on 4 cylinders while cruising to help minimize fuel consumption when possible. For 2015, there's a new Eco mode that takes economy even further by revising the shift schedule, throttle mapping, and implementing second gear starts. In driving on the highway, you'll notice it'll tend to run on 4 cylinders more often while in Eco mode, and makes an appreciable difference in conserving fuel. With vehicles as powerful as the SRT and Hellcat, you'll also want to make sure it's secure in other hands. In comes the new Valet mode. After setting up a custom 4-digit PIN number, Valet mode remaps the engine to reduce horsepower and torque, while limiting revs to 4,000 RPM. First gear is also locked out, so it'll take off in second gear and upshift earlier than normal. The manual shifter position is treated the same way as the drive position while disabling the paddle shifters. Stability control is fully on. The various drive modes are disabled, so everything is set to their street settings by default. Of course, launch control is disabled. Speaking of launch control, it's engaged by pressing the launch button while in drive, hitting the brake and applying full throttle. It can also be customized through the Infotainment system in addition to a programmable shift light for use on the track. All in all, there are 5 essential driving modes including Eco. Default automatically activates when you start the car. It's your day-to-day settings with easier steering, smoother shifts, and a more compliant ride. Custom gives you the ability to alter transmission shift times, activate the paddle shifters, tune the traction control to relax the limits, and firm or relax the suspension and steering based on your own driving style. Sport and Track offer preset parameters for increased performance, with Track being the most aggressive setting, designed to take full advantage of everything the SRT has to offer on smooth, dry surfaces. The asymmetric limited slip differential, aside from benefiting grip, stability, and steering response, also yields smooth power delivery on the track while helping limit oversteer. Another nice update for 2015 is the instrument cluster, which receives revised styling as well as a 7-inch TFT display in the middle that houses your multi-dimensional driver information system. Going through the different menus is easy thanks to the arrow pad to the left-hand side of the steering wheel. Starting at the top, you have a digital speed readout, then vehicle information where you can keep track of all the vehicle's vital systems through digitalized analog gauges. Things like temperatures, pressures, oil life, a voltometer, as well as instantaneous readouts for engine torque and power, and a tire pressure monitoring system. Next up is the performance screen, which incorporates basically what you would find in the SRT performance pages in the infotainment system. Here you can quickly access all of your basic timers, you can do braking distances, your lateral G-forces, peak G-forces, and lap timers for track use, not to mention top speed achieved. The driver assistance features like cruise control and the lane keeping assist, instantaneous fuel economy information, trip information, audio, messages, screen setup so you can customize how the screen is laid out, speed warning, diagnostics, and back to your speedometer. So let's go ahead and flip on the new bi-xenon LED accent and projector headlamps, LED fog lamps, and the hazards. Both front windows are fully automatic with laminated glass for better safety and noise isolation. So let's go ahead and check out the exterior. Upon closing the door, the interior will also chime, letting you know it's lost detection of the proximity key fob. For 2015, the Dodge Charger receives a thorough refresh that brings updated styling, improved technology, greater performance, and new levels of refinement. It features a broad lineup consisting of the SE, SXT, RT, RT Road and Track, RT Scat Pack, SRT 392, and SRT Hellcat. All-wheel drive is available for the V6 SE and SXT, but it's no longer available for the V8 RT. The RT Scat Pack and SRT Hellcat are two new models for 2015, further expanding the Charger's performance portfolio. The Hellcat, with its 707 horsepower and 204 mph top speed, certifies it as the quickest, fastest, and most powerful production sedan in the world. The RT Scat Pack is a heritage model that incorporates the 392 Hemi from the SRT and a few added performance goodies, coming in about $7,000 less than a full-blown SRT, making it a pretty attractive value for enthusiasts. At the end of the day, the Charger is still a family sedan. Properly equipped, it has the soul of a muscle car with impressive overall practicality. SRT is to Chrysler Group what AMG is to Mercedes-Benz, a division dedicated to providing over-the-top, highly tuned vehicles based on the brand's current model offerings. It stands for street and racing technology and features a classic old-school yet modern performance philosophy you can see and feel with each SRT product. Since 2006, the SRT has represented the highest level of performance available in the Charger lineup, only recently eclipsed by the Hellcat. While mechanically similar to the Chrysler 300 SRT, the Charger, like the Dodge brand in general, delivers more of a dynamic outlook with a distinct muscle car feel. In fact, the 300 SRT has been dropped for the 2015 model year as Dodge becomes more of the dedicated performance-themed brand. The most dramatic differences for 2015 include the thoroughly massaged and sculpted body and reworked interior. Since 2011, the silhouettes incorporated an abundance of retro cues reminiscent to the second-generation Charger of the late 1960s. The unmistakable Coke bottle design, body scallops, full-width racetrack tail lamps, sloping roofline, and vestigial buttresses to either side of the rear glass take you back to 1969. Adapted for a modern era, the Charger remains one of the boldest and most aggressive vehicles in its class, far different from the more subdued 300, or really any typical full-size sedan for that matter. As controversial as it seems since it was first introduced, I encourage you to reserve your judgment until after you see the styling in person. Especially in SRT or Scat Pack form, it looks much more modern and somewhat more aggressive than before, especially up front. Standard Chargers feature a new crosshair grille and LED fog lamps on the SXT and RT. LEDs are also used for the turn signals and daytime running lamps. New projector beam wraparound headlamps are standard. They incorporate Dodge logos to either side, and HIDs are included on more premium trims. The forward-leaning front end is less blocky than before and somewhat similar to the style seen on the new Dart and Durango. The new aluminum hood doesn't have quite the dramatic lines as before, but the overall package looks pretty well thought out and refined. It really grows on you over time. Across the sides, the doors in the front are actually new, so you'll see the scallops that begin in the front doors and trace down the body have been further streamlined, looking a bit more dynamic at the leading edges with familiar tapered edges as you move towards the rear quarters. The roofline tapers off into restyled C-pillars, pushed further back to enhance the Charger's fastback profile along with a shorter rear overhang. Like the front, the rear lighting wraps around the corners of the car, again being less squared off than before. I really like the rear end. It's fresh and modern, incorporating soft LED lighting, repositioned third brake light for the new center-mounted rear-view camera, and a new spoiler option. If you really like the SRT's more aggressive styling but don't want to pony up the extra $7,000, you can get all of those cues with the new RT Scat Pack. The Hellcat differs somewhat here and there, but overall the Scat Pack, SRT, and Hellcat share almost identical bodies. Up front, the robust fascia features a larger air dam below, brake cooling ducts, LED fog lamps, available adaptive cruise sensor, and a large front splitter. The grills are blacked out entirely with a unique mesh upper and lower set wearing a prominent SRT badge up top. The new aluminum hood features a large NACA duct that directs air straight to the engine bay. The Hellcat receives additional heat extractors. Prominent 392 SRT badging on the fenders highlights displacement. Across the sides, the skirts stick out further, highlighting the SRT's low ride height and a more dynamic look. At the rear, the fascia is much more defined, with flared sides and vents that help pull air from the wheel wells to enhance downforce. A modified spoiler graces the deck lid, while an aggressive lower diffuser highlights the 4-inch round tips of the active stainless steel performance dual exhaust system. The 2015 Charger SRT 392 and Hellcat receive an all-new wheel and tire package consisting of 20 by 9.5-inch slingshot 7-spoke forged aluminum wheels. The SRT's wheels feature the hyper black finish, while matte black and brass monkey or dark bronze is available on the Hellcat. They're wrapped in 275/40 Pirelli P0 high-performance tires, able to hold around 0.95 G of lateral acceleration. The brakes for both the 392 and Hellcat are the same, benefiting from the largest front brake package ever installed on a Chrysler Group vehicle. Consisting of internally ventilated and slotted 2-piece front rotors. They measure 15.4 by 1.34 inches, clamped by fixed 6-piston red Brembo aluminum calipers. Bringing up the rear are 13.8 by 1.1 inch vented and slotted discs paired with 4-piston Brembo calipers. With this setup, the SRT is able to stop from 60 miles an hour in an impressive 104 feet. For extra safety, there's a collision anticipation feature that can detect if you're about to make a panic stop to avoid a potential collision. The system preloads the brakes to provide immediate deceleration response. The underbody also integrates brake cooling ducts for a reduced fade under harder use. Another improvement are lighter weight cast aluminum axles and housings. A fully independent coilover suspension carries double wishbones in front, as well as a multi-link setup in the rear with 3-mode adaptive Bilstein dampers. Overall length is 200.8 inches with a width of 75 inches and a height of 58.3 inches, riding on a 120.4-inch wheelbase. Curb weight is estimated to be around 4,410 pounds, with 54% of that weight riding over the front axle.
So let's go ahead and pop the hood.
The SRT is powered by a 392 cubic inch 6.4-liter Hemi V8 that first debuted in the 2011 Challenger SRT. This engine features a tried-and-true old-school pushrod operated overhead valve design with an iron block, aluminum heads, port fuel injection, a compression ratio of 10.9 to 1, and 2 valves per cylinder with sodium-filled exhaust valves. Maximum engine speed is 6,400 RPM. The block is painted in bright Hemi orange. It now produces 485 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 475 pound-feet of torque at 4,200 RPM, representing an increase in 15 horsepower and 5 pound-feet of torque over last year's SRT. 0 to 60 times are likely to improve marginally compared to its predecessor's time of 4.2 seconds thanks to the slight bump in power and the advanced gearbox. Top speed is drag limited to 175 miles an hour. As far as fuel economy, the 2015 SRT can go more miles with its 18.5-gallon tank, thanks largely due to the 8-speed transmission. 91-octane fuel is recommended for maximum performance. EPA estimates now range between 15 miles to a gallon in the city and 25 on the highway compared to 14 and 23 respectively. As before, the interior of the 2015 Charger features stellar build quality, easy-to-use technology, and comfortable seating for up to 5 people. A few key updates include revised instrument cluster, steering wheel, center console, and seat designs. You'll also notice satin metal trim across the doors, replacing the mirror chrome of its predecessor. Just about everywhere you touch you'll be greeted by soft touch material, especially the upper door panels and dash. All of your power accessories, including your windows, locks, and mirrors, are located on the door, in addition to 2-person memory. With the SRT, you receive the unique Alcantara suede interior accents as standard equipment across the middle of the doors and seats. I'm especially a fan of the ruby red. High-performance Laguna leather seating, available in either black or sepia, is also available at an extra cost. Otherwise, when you have the Alcantara leather combination, the leather is actually Nappa, so it's pretty soft across the edges. I actually prefer the Alcantara as it offers a nice grippy surface and kind of feels a little bit more cozy than leather. It still has the heated and ventilated function, so you're not losing anything as far as that's concerned. All of your power accessories are located on the side of the seat, including 4-way power lumbar for both the driver and passenger. It's quite easy to find a comfortable seating position, but it's worth noting that the seats in the SRT, or at least up front, are noticeably firmer than a standard RT. They do hug you in quite well with far more defined side bolsters up top and down below. One thing that I did notice, and I haven't been able to get clarification yet, but this particular example does not have power adjustable pedals or the heated and cooled cup holders, which I know is available previously, so I don't know if it's an extra package or they just don't have it this year, and it's worth double checking on. Down below you have logoed floor mats and aluminum pedals. To the left-hand side of the steering wheel you have all of your lighting controls, including the headlamps to the left and 2 dials that control your main cabin lighting, as well as the ambient illumination found throughout. A sunroof is available. So now let's go ahead and see how she sounds, both static and on the road. And we'll go ahead and shut her up. Nice solid panels. What's going on, guys? Today we're driving the refreshed 2015 Dodge Charger SRT. Now, those of you who have seen my previous Charger SRT video I uploaded a few months ago, I covered the ones between 2012 and 2014. Now, 2015, obviously the Charger's got some refreshed styling like we've talked about, but the real difference in this vehicle is the way it drives. It is almost a completely different vehicle. It's unbelievable. You really, if you're interested in this vehicle and you're trying to base your purchase decision, whether you want to buy one pre-owned or just jump to the 2015, I highly suggest going and trying to find one in stock somewhere and really give it a good test drive and compare them both, because the new 8-speed automatic in this vehicle, it just enhances the performance so much. I almost can't even think about the previous vehicle. I mean, the last one had that old 5-speed automatic that the Charger has had forever. My 2012 Charger RT has the same thing. And I mean, gosh, the response of this transmission, just how quick it shifts, especially in the sport and track settings, the paddle shifters, made of aluminum, they're nice and comfortable, and they're even curved, so if you're gripping the wheel between 9 and 3, it's almost perfect placement for your middle 2 fingers. The thing that gets me the most about the transmission is how quickly it shifts. When you're in the default setting or even the eco setting, I mean, it'll shift like your traditional automatic. Not too quick, but pretty good. But when you put it in sport mode, and especially track mode, oh my gosh, it's as close to dual clutch fast as I've ever driven a traditional automatic. I mean, especially when you downshift. There's little rev matches, not too dramatic, but when you take off, bam, bam. It's crazy. It's amazing. And especially like with the auto stick feature of the 5-speed automatic, and beforehand the Charger SRT also had paddle shifters, it just didn't offer enough dynamism to really make it exciting. I mean, this is exciting. This is what this vehicle has needed since the inception of the Charger SRT. I mean, it's unbelievable. I can care less if this vehicle doesn't come with a manual. Obviously, many automatics this day and age are faster than manuals, and I'm not discounting manuals. I love a good manual transmission, but just with this type of vehicle, the overall comfort and refinement and the performance that you get all in one package, this transmission really just it's like the icing on the cake. It's perfect. I know I'm just elated about this vehicle. I don't mean to just keep on rambling and all that kind of stuff. It's just I'm just flabbergasted. It's awesome. It really is. Another pretty cool thing is how adaptive the vehicle is. A lot of vehicles this day and age have a sport button that may alter steering response, may alter gear changes, dampers, whatever. But with the SRT pages, you have multi-dimensional aspects that you can control with this vehicle. I mean, from the transmission, turning on the paddle shifters, traction control, suspension, steering. They all have multiple different modes, and you can customize everything to your ideal driving enjoyment or whatever you prefer. If you want the transmission in track mode but the suspension in the softer setting, why not? Go ahead. So it's pretty cool. And the transmission also, when you have it in sport and track and you're really burying the pedal and getting on it, it adds a lot more aggression to the shifts. In the basic like default comfort settings, the transmission, like I said, is very smooth, but when you put it into the aggressive setting, every single shift, it's like bam, it almost like it punches you in the back. It just wants to go and just rockets forward, and it's very cool. It's a unique sensation. I'm sure it all has to do with computer programming and stuff, but it just adds a little bit more connectedness. It adds more feel to the vehicle. So sure, it may be an automatic. For someone who's a die-hard manual purist, this vehicle probably wouldn't do it. The Chevrolet SS, while in 2014 only offered a 6-speed automatic, it also has the option of a manual transmission now for 15, I believe. So that's pretty cool. There's an option for you. But in my eyes, the whole package, what you get, the type of features, the build quality, the 8-speed automatic, it just all put together, I think it's a better value package than anything else in this segment with this kind of performance and all of that.
With the SRT, you get the option of a high-performance 900-watt 19-speaker Harman Kardon surround sound system with 12-channel amplifier and a 10-inch subwoofer out back. That's what's found in this particular model. It's all routed through Chrysler's award-winning Uconnect system. I've covered this system quite in depth in some previous Chrysler Group vehicles, including the 2013 Charger SRT, so I'll include that in the annotation below or in the description box below, so if you want to see a closer look on how the Uconnect system works and all the customizable aspects of it, you can click those links and be taken directly to that video. In a nutshell, pretty much everything of the vehicle can be controlled from this system, from the heated and ventilated seats to the heated steering wheel, auto-dimming rearview mirror, all of your media and entertainment including hands-free Bluetooth streaming of audio and satellite radio, climate control, navigation, hands-free Bluetooth telephone, traffic and weather, fuel listing, personalizable options, and so much more. We briefly touched on the SRT performance pages earlier in the video, so let's take a little bit of an in-depth look. This is the main screen. You can access it through the SRT driving mode screen or the SRT and apps screen. You can customize the view of that car in the middle right there, go between your different lap timers for track use. There's two different menus of auxiliary gauges so you can keep an eye on the vital vehicle statistics, lateral G-forces, as well as an engine parameter screen, which you can show instantaneous horsepower and torque, oil pressure, and things like that. I also really like the new instrument bezel. It kind of has a honeycomb pattern ghosted in it, and you can only see it at certain angles. It's also echoed within the infotainment system down in the center console, as well as the TFT display located in between the speedometer and tachometer. Padded A-pillars, side curtain airbags, grip handles up top, and padded visors, with illuminated vanity mirrors. Auxiliary sunshade comes out the side, auto-dimming view mirror with 911 roadside assistance. Up top you have your LED interior illumination, as well as reading lamps, the repositioned garage home link, and a padded sunglass container. Continuing down the center console, like we briefly touched on earlier, the SRT button and launch control up top, two basic radio knobs, your lane keeping assist, forward collision warning, traction control, and turning on and off your parking sensors. Down beneath that is your standard dual zone electronic automatic climate control with your basic functions down below here. Otherwise you can access it through the climate button of the infotainment system. Down below here you do have your temperature, one-touch automatic, fan speed, AC, recycling, and front and rear defrost. In the very bottom, you have a small storage tray with a 12-volt power outlet. Another storage tray, off to the far right with a little heritage touch, Dodge Brothers, designed in Detroit. The padding from the dash continues across the side till about right here. You have two cup holders, slide that back, and they're illuminated. Not to mention a broad padded center console with removable storage tray, chain storage, an extra 12-volt power outlet, USB, iPod integration, auxiliary, as well as an SD card input. As far as the steering wheel, on the left-hand side you have your hands-free telephone and voice commands. Help.
You can interrupt this help message and give a command by pressing the voice button on the steering wheel. To change the temperature, say things like set temperature to 73 degrees or set driver temperature to 73 degrees. To
Cancel.
Cancelled.
As you can see, you can pretty much control all of the vehicle's aspects, from climate control to navigation through voice recognition. It's also pretty simple to get a hold of. Off on the right hand side you have your cruise control and adaptive cruise settings down below here, so you can set the distance between the vehicle in front of you. It can automatically stop itself if it's in a traffic jam or something, restart back, and it'll adjust the speed based on the distance of the vehicle in front of you. And like any traditional Chrysler Group fashion, you do have your radio controls in the back of the steering wheel, and this particular one located right beneath each of the paddle shifters. Alrighty. We'll go ahead and shut her down. And check out the back seat. The overall back seat in terms of accommodations and seating has not changed since the 2011 model year. Along with the front seat, the back seat does get some subtle refreshes, namely in the materials such as the satin chrome trim across the doors, the revised seat pattern, as well as the addition of two USB ports in the center console instead of a 12-volt power outlet. Of course, with the SRT, you also have two-stage heated seats for both of the outboard seats. You can sit a third person in the middle with an adjustable headrest and seatbelt. Overall comfort is excellent. There's a fold-down middle armrest, storage pockets on the back of the seats, and plenty of padded material across the doors. It's a little bit less headroom when you're climbing in compared to a 300 because of the fastback roofline, but I'm 5'10" and I sit back there just fine. I have gone over the back seat in great detail as far as detailed interior space, dimensions, and accommodations in a previous video, so if you want to click the link in the annotation below or in the description box below, it'll take you directly to it. The trunk can be opened either of three ways, either via the remote fob with the button on the dash to the left-hand side of the steering wheel, or the relocated button within the tail lamp surround. Once inside, you'll see that the cargo space for the 2015 Charger hasn't changed. It's still 16.5 cubic feet, which is pretty good overall. It's nice and roomy, the lift height isn't too high, there's cargo tie-downs and 2 lamps, in addition to a cargo net and a spare temporary tire located underneath the floorboard. You can fold the seats in a 60-40 split fashion if you wanted to stow cargo all the way up to the front, greatly enhancing the overall practicality.
The passenger seat also features the same power adjustments, including the 4-way power lumbar that you find on the driver's seat. You do have a locking glove box down below, lined in felt, 2-tier design with illumination. Pretty good amount of space.
The Dodge Charger is one of the best performance bargains you can buy when it comes to its near luxury grade features and amenities, technology, and comfort. With an expanded model lineup, the selection becomes even more diverse, creating a Charger for anyone to suit any need, whether it be basic transportation or a track day special that can be enjoyed on a daily basis without compromise.
Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed the in-depth look at the refreshed 2015 Dodge Charger SRT. Be sure to stay tuned next time, there's a lot more where that came from. Take care everybody.